heroes coming in from the Eve.
You're convinced, well, you're not convinced about the CC. I'm not convinced by the damage from Aura Fire's composition right now, but Gani, it's all gonna come down to the execution. We mentioned it many times before, the draft plays an impact in the game, but the execution is what's most important.
For the final time for the series, let's just jump into the Land of Dawn for the game. Aura Fire, and as well as Rrq Hoshi, who will take the first and last match and secure the semifinals.
You're talking about the damage output, which is exactly the point. If they don't have enough damage, there's no point in them maintaining distance against Rrq, because eventually the Irithel and the Eve will outdamage your heroes. So you have to they have to find a way to get to Eve and Irithel, and they have enough damage to take out squishy members. The tankier members though, like R7, like Vin later on, they'll be able to do a lot of damage and maybe even sustain it back if they want to opt for a more sustainable itemization choice.
Let's see, again, right, in the early stages, Fluffy can actually have more pressure here because of that Esmeralda-Paquito matchup. But Vin's also here. Fluffy needs to be careful. I don't think he's at risk of dying, but Godiva might be.
Okay, Godiva still holding his flicker here. Perhaps he knows his calculations. Albert, he didn't get the creep. Oh, now you can see here high, engaging Albert and Vin. Albert quite low. Mana is very low. On the other side, R7 trying to distract the members of Aura Fire. No first bloods in the first 2 minutes. And we can see here, 4-2 is going to be the scoreline.
Man, you know, right now, the English desk has been converted by Rrq's draft. But again, right?
I've stayed on Rrq.
Yeah, I mean, you've stayed on Rrq the entire time. I think, Gani, you're still at 0%. Unfortunately, you went for Rrq twice in game 1 and 2, and then Aura twice, and now you're on Rrq. So if the pattern of Gani, if Gani is cursed, then it should be Aura who wins this, but we'll see once again. It's just a town prediction. This game, though, I do believe Rrq have the better drafts.
We'll have to see. In the early game, as we can see, Aura is simply outlasting Rrq Hoshi because Eve and Irithel, not enough damage just yet. Towards the mid game, it's going to be the same pattern, but a bit more towards the late game, you're going to see that the lack of damage is going to be severely painful unless they can get pickoffs onto Skylar and Clay. So that will be how this game is going to go, on paper at least. The logic would dictate as how it's going to go.
It's Season 10, though. Say bye-bye to logic, right?
You're right.
I mean, Aura Fire currently, they're getting that control on the neutral objective. Turtle taken away, presented to you by Samsung Galaxy A series. Aura Fire strike first, but here Albert looking for that trade in the bottom side.
Oh, Circling Eagle connects onto him as samples the blade. As a defense will help him to escape. A very, very smart calculation. Oh, I might be wrong here, Albert.
Oh no!
My God! Oh my God! Godiva finds the first blood with that Soul Bloom. Albert a little too, well, he miscalculated that. His mana was low, and there you go. He paid for his life. Aura Fire with an early lead.
Looking at the emblems right now, though, you do see Demon Slayers, nothing too crazy there. Mystery Shot for Clay to ensure that he will be able to provide utility. Eve isn't exactly a damage-hungry kind of hero, although usually people would opt for more poke, and 2 Everses on the side of Aura will ensure that they scale faster. So that, I think, the race to scaling towards a mid to late game is going to be what decides how that mid game is going to go. Because if Rrq can scale equally, I think they would start to have an advantage.
Yeah, it's the same story as game 4 earlier, right? Aura Fire will have the lead in the early game, obviously with their winning lanes. Brody wins against that Irithel, even in the mid lane. That's mid control over to Aura Fire with the Faramis Matilda combo. So they have 3 winning lanes, but if Rrq can withstand this early game, like they've been able to in the past 2 games, they will be able to outscale Aura Fire with the Irithel, even with the Ling and the Eve. It's going to all come down on Aura.
And if you talk about the pick-off potential, right? Even if later on Aura wants to hedge their bets on Kabuki being able to do a lot of damage, he is not safe at all with a Ling, with a Eve in the picture, right? There's so many ways that Rrq Hoshi can target the main carries from Aura Fire, depending on who gets the resources. And right now, it's still Aura Fire trying to get something more, but without a very dynamic engage, Rrq Hoshi has been able to actually avoid many of the bigger confrontations. The first turtle, though, this is where it's going to be a bit scary. The second, I mean.
Yeah, we'll see here. 4v4 in the turtle pit. Albert, Alter was placed in Tempest Blade. Will try to help, but there you go, High.
No way.
With the on-point retribution. Oh my god, Skylar gets taken down. This might be a disaster for RQ. They lost the neutral objective, and Aura Fire, they are very, very strong in a team fight. Vin gets taken down on the backside. So
what?
3 members, no, 2 members were taken down. Plus the neutral objective, Aura Fire, establishing a 3,000 gold lead. Oh, they might want the mid. Or Kevin is in a bit of a pickle as he gets taken down, and the mid side might fall. Clay has no ultimate here in hand. Skylar trying to defend, and the mid turret will fall in the first 5 minutes. Oh my god! Are going to force a war? Not now.
RQ need to stop contesting these objectives early on. Again, it was already a 1.5k goal lead for Aura Fire, a team who has that early game control. If RQ keeps playing Aura's game, it's gonna be Aura who takes this.
And not to mention, with the Cult Altar, with Matilda, they have so many ways to sustain through damage. We've seen this, I think, in the previous 2 seasons, the essentially 5-fighter composition, right? Everyone is so tanky, everyone does a lot of damage. All the way this early in the game, up to the 10-minute mark, they're essentially unstoppable. And if you try and clear the wave and try and defend under your turret, you're gonna get absolutely dove on because you don't do nearly enough damage. We saw a bit of that, and now Aura Fire, they're trying to do it again.
Now, Skylar here is the target. Circling Eagle will connect on towards him. No follow-up damage just yet. As High now, his rage is on full stack. Have not popped that minion fury just yet. Oh, he has no ultimate. So, yes, still on cooldown here. 20 seconds to the last turtle. We'll see.
It is absolutely a weird kit for sure. So Aura Fire, they're still trying to get fights, but as we mentioned, one of their big issues right now is that they lack the crowd control. Of course, if they can push Rrq Hoshi back to their turrets, then they can orchestrate or maneuver to try and cut people off from their base and dive that way. But if Rrq doesn't engage them in that manner, they really can't find these fights out of nowhere.
Let's see as well here, Rrq. Again, I don't think they need to go for the contest here. 4,000 gold behind. They're just gonna go for the orange buff. Rrq finally stop going for the contest, and Aura Fire will pick up the 3rd turtle of the game.
I think a big solution that Rrq Hoshi can do is just abuse that split push, man. They have a Ling who is very mobile, and Aura Fire, this composition is only really scary when it's a 5v5. Alone, not too much.
Minion Fury connects on towards 7. He is the first one to fall. Aura Fire towards down. Oh my god, Call Alter, nice timing. Now we can see here this fight. Vin trying desperately, but take a look at that. Vin gets taken down. Kabuki, though, gets traded back. 2 for 1 now. Rrq Hoshi taking what they can, but Aura Fire still with full control of the jungles of Rrq Hoshi.
I would say with that fight, it's actually worth it for Rrq, right? Sure, it's a 2 for 1, but it's a kill onto the marksman for Rrq, and they are going to be able to use that to get more map pressure now, because Kabuki, even though he's just a marksman here, as a Brody who's basically gone BOD early on, you have so much kill pressure. It stops Rrq from doing anything and from taking any of those crazy team fights and picks on the map.
Well, now it's still going to be the same situation. And I think, as you can see, alone, there's not really that much danger, but here comes the roaming squad. R7 flickers away, but Vin is there with the conceal, trying to make something happen here. But that won't actually blow into a fight. And Rrq Hoshi, they're avoiding all these fights, but at this point, they're already 5k gold behind. It's a dangerous situation, and I really think they just need to try and split push and try and get objectives, because otherwise, without any towers gained in the early game, it's going to be a very, very tough mid-game to contest with.
I don't like how Rrq are funneling their gold, right? Because right now, Aura Fire are actually shoving in their waves, but Iritha hasn't been the one to actually take up that solo golden XP. It's been Albert, and Albert, I'm sorry, won't be able to actually burst anyone in Aura Fire's composition. I don't even think the Brody can be bursted down by this Ling. So again, the gold has been funneled to a not the optimal target for Rrq, and this is gonna cost them, you know? They're gonna have to wait a little longer again for that Irithyll to come online.
I would agree. And now Clay goes for the Necklace of Durance as well, so he'll reduce the healing, but will that be enough? Aura goes for the big fight again!
Minuan Rrq next onto its forward call altar as well. R7 might fall next, and there you go. Double by Kabuki. Fluffy again. Such a nuisance in the front lines of Rrq Hoshi. Clay, R7 down. Albert here trying to find slight compensation there, taking the jungles of high, but Aura Fire will focus themselves on towards the Lord.
Once again, Aura capitalize and punish Rrq on a mistake. They are contesting these neutral objectives constantly without the item power spikes necessary on Albert, on Skylar, on Clay. Remember, this is the win condition for Rrq. Those items need to be present for them because right now it's looking like Aura will take this and will knock Rrq down to the lower brackets.
Look at the damage dealt by Axior. Fluffy all the way on top, and Clay is second, but he went and built a Necklace of Durance. Yes, we know that it's about reducing the shielding, reducing the healing, but right now Clay is also responsible for dealing damage. So I'm not sure if that is the wisest of choices. Of course, the healing reduction can be built by other members on the team as well. So we'll have to see how this plays out. For Rrq Hoshi, it's still a very difficult hold to try and make sure that Aura Fire does not completely take over the game. But with that Lord, they have a great chance of making that happen right here, right now.
It's a 3-lane push here. Now you can see here, with that barrier, it delays the Lord push slightly. Rrq here trying to defend the mid one. But take a look at the bot side. It's quite vulnerable, but the passive is just there. Fluffy here diving in with that Star Moon. I think it's not a mistake, but I might be wrong here. Fluffy will be able to escape with that guiding wind and as well as Cold Altar. We can see here Aura Fire and a 7.2 thousand goal lead in the first 11 minutes.
Right now, it is a stomp for Aura Fire, right? They've been getting every single objective, no trades whatsoever. Rrq, the entire 11 minutes of gameplay, they've only been able to take one turret, and that's the one in the bottom side. As you can see in the player's gold by Ube's gold, though, it's not looking too bad for Albert, but it is looking bad for Skylar, right? Like we mentioned, Skylar isn't getting enough gold to get those item power spikes, so for Rrq, they're gonna have to wait a little longer for them to actually try to look for that turn. And if they go for these contests constantly, while they're 7,000 gold behind, it's not going to happen at all.
I think, really, I really think that they might just want to let go of the next Lord even and try and get objectives elsewhere. Just keep pushing, keep playing that pressure, because right now looking at the items, there's only an Ice Queen's one available for Clay. And yes, you can slow down the members of Aura Fire, but you're not doing enough damage. So maybe something like a glowing wand would serve him quite well. And Skylar right here, with the DHS, he's doing a lot more already, but not nearly enough with the Windtalker. So maybe one more damage item would make sense. And afterwards, then Aura Fire won't be able to shrug off all that damage, because at this point, the Cult Altar, the Guiding Wind, they are so unkillable, it's not even funny.
Take a look at the anti-region items from Rrq Hoshi. Respect, they take it to another level. Grok dominance, Paquito dominance, and Clay build at that NOD as well. So a lot of anti-region items were established from side of Rrq Hoshi. Let's see here. Fluffy dealing damage onto his R7. But nothing too fancy. Oh, in the backside though, Tempest of Blade.
Ooh, good up Fury.
Minion Rrq next onto his two. Tempest of Blade as a defense. Vin forced to use that flicker. Lock charge as well as a defense. Aura Fire displaying a very, very calm but forceful offense.
Absolute dominance right now for Aura Fire. Rrq Hoshi, I don't know what they're going to do right now. They have to give this Lord over. They cannot go for the contest. Vin, opening up the map, will lose his life, I think. No.
Oh my god, he has no flicker here. Aura Fire though, not overcommit that one. Rashi.
Well, Albert hasn't actually been pushing the wave though. He was farming in his own jungle while that was going on. So I think he should have put that time to better use. Maybe farm on the opposing side's jungle, or maybe just push the waves out. Because right now, with the waves in favor of Aura Fire, with that Lord coming in, they have a chance to use that Cult Altar and go for the cheese end. Everyone just running towards the base, using the Cult Altar and ending it right there without even going for the fights.
Exactly. This is where Aura Fire wants Rrq to be. In a place together, clumped up for their composition to shine. And for Rrq, I don't see a way of them coming back from this.
Two Lord push, two lane push here from side of Aura Fire. Is this enough? Real world manipulation. Vin, wild charge, doesn't do anything. Let's take a look at that. Face Hugger gets taken down to the backside. Albert,
no way.
Damn it. Rrq defending their lives here. Is this a mistake? Aura Fire, one by one, they got his man. Tyler, though, will be taken down. Aura Fire,
Puffy?
They are trying to respond back. Fluffy here with that Immortal. So confident, but is it enough damage?
Here comes Albert.
He needs to back up. Face Hugger is there. Immortal pops for Fluffy. Cold Altar is there to back up the teammates. As now, base turret number 2 will not fall. Will fall. Number 1 and 2 will fall. Mid and as well as bot.
Aura Fire, that was a massive blunder from Facehugger, man. He did not pop the Cult Altar. He was waiting for the last possible second. Why? They did not need to make it that clutch. It was a game in the bag for Aura. But again, that one mistake has now given Rrq more life in this game. Irithel got a kill, and that was, I believe, a shutdown. Skylar is going to be online very, very soon in the 15th minute of the game, and Aura are going to have to wait for the next neutral objective to actually threaten that end now.
They have to just play the map very smartly here. Moving forward, back and forth here is going to be important, right? Because they need to kite away from the big combo. If they don't get all hit with that big play, they have a chance here. And Godiva's caught out.
Overcommit here. Godiva gets taken down. Call Altar wasn't well timed. High might be next as that health from that Call Altar is still there, but one member has to pay the price, and it is going to be Godiva. 30 seconds to the next Lord. Rrq Hoshi still in this game.
And now you can see the frustration building up from Aura Fire. They're going for fights that they don't need to take. They still have the gold lead. Well, at least they still had the gold lead. Now it practically doesn't matter with Rrq cornering Fluffy up top.
Oh my god, they got news here. Fluffy cannot escape. The shutdown is there. Rrq Hoshi. 2 minutes ago, they were defending their base, and now Aura Fire, they are the ones who are afraid to step out their base.
And it's that moment, that's the timer. Rrq 16 minutes in. This is the time. Look at that Scarlet Phantom for Skylar. That solidifies it. That's the item power spike that they were waiting for. And for Aura, it's looking bleak.
Well, Steel, Chemical Blade has in pod, Call Altar as well. You can see here, High trying to distract, but been taking a lot of damage in the front side as well. He needs to be careful. Shadow Stampede that does not connect. Now we can see here, Tyler. And
nice one, Kabuki.
Trying to find Clay with that real manipulation and manages to somehow give pressure onto his Kabuki, but no real engages.
Look at the difference here. Now with the damage available, Skylar cannot be ignored, and Clay is starting to do a lot of damage with his spells, right? This is the poke we've talked about, and Aura Fire have no answer. They don't have the range to do it, they don't have the engage, so this poke is gonna be so damaging, but right now, they're playing that macro game, they're going for the Lord, trying to force Rrq to fight them on their own terms.
High is banking on the fact that he has the minion Fury, but they leave the Lord.
Oh my god, Clay.
What?
He gets the target, but Albert secures the Lord. This is a mistake. Kabuki gets taken down as well. Fluffy finds Skylar though, and in the backside, we can see here, Albert finds a life in Godiva. High, stuck, Rrq Hoshi. They are not backing down. They are relentless, and they got the evolved. No, they got the enhanced Lord, and now it seems like Aura Fire, they are on the defense. 2 versus 4. Can they do it?
They left the Lord, and now it's Rrq knocking on the base, marching slowly with the Lord up top. Gani, it's looking like Rrq want to look for the close. 8 seconds though for Kabuki.
We'll see Albert Finch poise into the inside. Oh, Cult Altar. Can he survive? Kabuki is inside. Rrq 7 pushing the mid. Winter's Truncheon to delay time. Kabuki trying to do
Kabuki.
Oh my god!
Kabuki!
Kabuki finds Clay, and next He hunts for Vin. Now Vin with the wall charge, Shadow Stampede connects, but no damage whatsoever. Lord will be taken care of. Force out of Aura Fire. Both teams are relentless in this game. Aura Fire, they are still in this game, but now control is leaning towards the Kings of Kings.
Oh my goodness. Again though, Aura Fire, yes, they got Clay, but at this point, with all the items fully built for both teams, it definitely favors Rrq. And Aura, they cannot make that mistake again. Why did Hai take the guiding win over? He's the main frontliner for Aura, that's number one, and he's the jungler. He needs to secure the Lord. He basically gave the Lord over to Rrq on a silver platter there.
It's just unfortunate for sure, and Rrq Hoshi now are not only, but they're 2.7k gold ahead. Of course, at this point, everyone has full items, so it won't matter anymore. Skylar, though, with the Has Claws right now, I don't think Aura Fire has enough damage to burst him down. He can reach all damage.
Minu and Fori connects on towards C. Let's see, Sabbath Blade as the defense, and now all 5 members
Oh my God.
Rrq Hoshi disengaged from that fight. Luckily, for side of Rrq Hoshi, no clear follow-up damage were given from side of Aura Fire. If not, 3 members might be deleted there. What the heck? Rrq Hoshi now, 35 seconds on
Fluffy.
Once again, Fluffy has no immortal.
Oh,
Has the immortal. He will survive with that immortal, but the ultimate disengage once again. Rrq Hoshi realizing that 25 seconds is on the timer for the next Lord. Evolved 1. They rather play safe.
This can be the same situation from the previous game, man. Rrq Hoshi can begin to use the neutral objectives to try and force Aura Fire into a choke point and let Clay do the rest of the work. He now has an Immortal as well for the next fight, and Skylar, he's still going to be a very serious source of damage that Aura Fire has no solution at all for. The Lord is up, but the waves are pushing again and again for Aura. This is their sole advantage in this game.
What do they want to bank on? Aura Fire, they're going to bank on the Evolved Lord. They have the CC, they have the damage to secure it, but Fluffy needs to do a lot, and Hai needs to stay in the front line. Let's see what happens.
Oh, here, Lord, 20,000 health. Trickling Eagle connects on towards
Albert.
Albert, though, Tempest of Blade, call on towards Spot as well. Hai will not take the retribution. It will fall to the side of Rrq Hoshi. 2 members falls, though. Rrq Hoshi pays the prices. Kabuki finds the double. And now we can see here, Aura Fire. They are struggling as the members from Rrq Hoshi is just everywhere. And with this Lord, mighty Lord pushing them inside, Aura Fire is in trouble. Rrq Hoshi, 5,000 gold lead. Lord marching in. They might look for the end.
Facehugger.
And now, with the Lord, it's not over just yet. As Rrq Hoshi finds the wipes out, though. As Rrq Hoshi will send Aura Fire reverse sweeping. And this is bow down to the Kings of Kings.
The Dragons have been tamed in the upper brackets by the Kings. Sent down to the depths of the lower brackets. Rrq progress to the upper brackets. A reverse sweep in the second day of playoffs.
Yet again, a full 5 games for Rrq Hoshi to finally assert their dominance, reverse sweeping Aura Fire. They show you how it's done. They show you it's never over until it's really over.
They are relentless. Down 2 and nothing, and look at them now.
Look at the
3
fans.
and 2. And we can see the fans, the passion exploding the stadium here. What the heck just happened?
The composure, the patience from Rrq Hoshi. That's what was displayed here in the arena. And for Aura, they will be sent down to the lower brackets. They still have a chance, but their next match will be an elimination match.
Oof. Tough situation for sure, but right now, the moment belongs to Rrq Hoshi, man. That was such an uphill battle, and they found it. I don't know how they did it, but they improved so much during the course